Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Gene and BT dissect the what-the-fuck moments that makes pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Gene and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
All right, we're live, 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSpod.club production. Ahead of time, just want to tell everyone happy Shiznit Day. It's coming this Tuesday, and thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night right before Impact on AMC. The weather's been shitty here, I just want to say, and I got a good Southern saying for it. The devil's beating his wife. That's what happens when it's snowing and sunny at the same fucking time. And it was here a couple times. The devil's beating his wife. I've never heard that one, but I like it. This is episode 94 of WTF. That's right, 94. We've been doing this forever. This is the WTF. Don't believe any of the other fucking hype. And this is episode 1025 of STSpod.club. That guy over there, he's Gene Jackson. He's from Gadsden, Alabama. And Gadsden Sports Complex, I want to put them over. They host various municipal leagues, including youth, adult, and adult soccer. Gene, adult soccer, baseball, softball, basketball, tennis, flag football. You can call them at 256-549-4709. Call them and tell them BT sent you. That guy, he's the wrestling's know-it-all.
No. I've been meaning to tell you that. Drop that shit. I ain't playing along with that shit no more. That fucking goof is still, from what I'm told, I don't look at his page, probably blocked, but he's still posting them dumbass pictures all the time. Fuck him. Fuck that damn nickname, and fuck everybody that looks like him or the 4 people that listen to his shitty podcast.
All righty, we heard that. That was a Shizu, by the way. He's my partner in crime, my best friend most of the time. He's Gene Jackson, and together we are the big men slapping mics in podcasting. There we go, big men slapping mics, or as they say on Memphis Wrestling, the big mains slapping mics. How the hell are you, Gene? Oh, man, we both got a little angry real quick, didn't we?
I went a long time without seeing any of that crap. Then somebody sent me a bunch of it yesterday and pissed me off, but I was nice enough not to forward it to you.
Thank you.
So I just figured I'd be pissed off by myself, but fuck that guy.
You know, it's sad. It's coming to April. It would be a whole year. A whole year.
Still can't let it go.
Business is pretty good. Numbers staying steady. No big numbers changing except the shorts on Memphis Wrestling went up 366%. The Memphis Wrestling video page, YouTube, our videos, because we started using shorts instead of the long version of the misses, MVP, things like that. We use it on the YouTube channel now, and people seem to like them. Our third best plays on audio plays was WTF News Desk from last month. Number 2 was the 5-minute time limit, episode 16. That's episode 1016. You can get all of these episodes on the main feed or search Shooting the Shiznit on your podcast catcher. And number 1, and this usually gets a lot because we have a mixture of some groups, some Facebook groups that follow this one, but it's Observing the Observer. I can't even talk.
It's hard to say that. I've tried to say it before.
Observing the Observer, Wrestle Kingdom 20, which was this actual January, just a few weeks back, episode 1018. So we're going to get started real quick. Remember, we just count down crazy things, and I want to warn everybody, this is a little Dave Meltzer heavy. And when we finish the countdown, and you don't believe we shouldn't have covered this, yes, this month should have been Dave Meltzer heavy. Just put it that way. The first two things, Gene, I'm gonna put two videos on the screen. If you're not watching the video section of this, but I'm gonna put two videos. I'm gonna show them to you, and you got to tell me which one is real, and number one or number two, and which one is done with AI.
Okay.
All right. The first one's only 5 seconds.
すごい団体ですよ。
そうですよね。まあでもね、赤井さん。
And here's the second one.
膝を。我が。
素敵。
愛には愛で返すコールセーターでした。レイジングファイヤー。
All right, Gene, 1 or 2?
So I don't think I've got one of these right yet, right? I know like 0 and 10 or some shit so far, I think. And I always
like
try
that.
to go against. I always try to go. I'm like, okay, one's obvious, one's less obvious. So I'm gonna say this first one's AI.
Well, Gene, I'm an asshole. I just want you to know that, because guess what? They're both real.
Okay, that's not surprising considering what it was, but
that was from DDT. We always did we've always did strange videos for DDT, or strange matches. We just talk about them, but the videos seem to do better because you're actually able to see what the hell is going on over there. Now, that at the time, that was the IWGP World Champion. He did that show the day before Wrestle King.
wow. Yeah, the only time I seen that spot before, I think I seen Derek King do that on Spot Show one time in Corinth, but other than that, I figured it was AI.
Was that in the dressing room or was that in?
Oh yeah, that was in the parking lot before the show, but
I don't know if that counts or not. So
it was the weekend, so you don't count it for sure. I know.
No,
the
that's
rules.
for
I've
damn
heard
sure.
those rules before.
Yeah. All right, number 9. That, by the way, we call that "There's Something Strange in the Neighborhood." Number 10, and number 9 we call it "What the Fuck Dave." But like I said, you're gonna probably have a bunch of "What the
You
Fuck."
call this
Dave.
whole episode that, perhaps.
The first is just a picture, so we'll stay on the screen for that one. Part of me doesn't even want to do this because it's just there's so much going on in his brain. I don't know. Dave, he's getting, not only does he come off as an expert per se, but it's almost egotistical. Do you feel the same thing?
Oh, he definitely comes off now like he's sitting on some high horse looking down on everyone, and no one, not even the people involved in the business currently, know as much as he does. Everybody's just sitting around waiting for Dave to enlighten us all.
And if you're not watching this, Dave says he's educated more people in legitimate underbelly core than anyone who's ever lived. Pushed for drug testing so hard that eventually it happened and the death rate declined. Got more people than you ever know interested in the different styles of wrestling and he goes on and on what he has done.
And that was in response to somebody's tweet that says Dave is responsible for most of the negative discourse. He contributes nothing positive to the business, and that's what Dave came back with.
I have to agree with that person. This is just crazy what Dave Meltzer's actually turned into. Here's him talking about his match ratings.
2025 was, like, based on my ratings, for whatever that's worth, was the best year for wrestling matches in history of this industry. And not based on my ratings, but it was the best year overall for business in probably 2 decades plus. As far as like different companies doing well, WWE setting records, CMLL setting records. Stardom being the most, the most popular women's promotion since the heyday of All Japan Women, and on it goes. It was really, when you look back in the years now over, it was really a monumental year for the business. And I don't know that the fact that the matches were great, probably the best year for any company on pay-per-views, I think, ever too. But
can you see that? Do you look at the last year and think to yourself, God dang, this was a good year?
How can it be the best year on pay-per-views when WWE wasn't even on pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Like, it can't be better than like the Attitude Era when they were selling pay-per-views for $40 and $50 a pop, and now it's just been subscription services.
I don't know if you just go by. I do understand, and I gotta agree with him. If you're just going for profit, it was a great year for everybody. CML having a great year, everybody having a great year over here. But I thought it was funny the way he mentions. It's almost like he wants us to believe that one of the main reasons they drew so much money was because the matches were better. And if you go and look, it's not the matches better in WWE. It's the matches are so damn good in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like we're beating a dead horse at this point. Like, I don't even want to go down that road again. But that's his narrative, and almost everything he reports, somewhere in there, the root of it is, it's all because of AEW. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Did you see who was Wrestler of the Year in the ESPN Awards?
I did not.
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, really? The Wrestler of the Year? Wow.
It's like
that's incredible.
It's like I don't really care about awards other than our awards, because those are actually voted by our readers, who are actually generally far more knowledgeable than non-readers. But as the results will always show, I like the guy and all, and he's good. He main evented 0 pay-per-views. He main evented virtually no.
All right, I just wanted that comment. No offense to you, Ed, because I know you read. I read too on a weekly basis. But this goes out to people that think everything Dave Meltzer says and does, if you've read The Observer for 30 or 40 years, then you're more knowledgeable of the business. No one cares about those awards. I'm sorry. I wanted people to care about them. Back in the day, I was a huge fan of Observer. I voted in awards all the time. And I'm not sure there are any awards in pro wrestling that anyone gives a shit about anymore. Do you?
No, because they're awards for a worked business. You know what I mean? Like, the bookers decide who they want to put over and who they put in key positions to get over. So ultimately, that decides things. You know what I mean? Yeah, they can go out and perform to their best ability in the ring and on promos and things like that. But still, no matter how good you are, if you're not given an opportunity to showcase it, you're not going to be in the running for these types of things. Is Dominic Mysterio Wrestler of the Year? Well, I don't know. You would have to quantify what that even means. To Dave, it means work rate and how many pay-per-views you main evented and blah, blah, blah. Apparently, that's not ESPN's considerations, but no need to tear the guy down. He had a hell of a year.
It's usually one person, too. Pro Wrestling Illustrated had an agenda when they gave out the awards, and I never knew that at first until I actually found out that was the deal. Like, they would try to give WCW. I remember one year WWE had quit letting them do ringside, taking photos and everything. So Bill said, fuck you. Or somebody there said, fuck you. I'd like to talk to some other people on the staff. But and then we got them doing awards for WCW or NWA. They won more awards than WWE did. So it was a lot of that. All right, guys, that was What the Fuck Dave. Like I said, it's not the last thing for Dave Meltzer. And we're going to throw this one up. This is our number, always our number. And you sent this to me. This is number 8. I might not know it all, but I know more than you. So wrong one. What I want you to do, Gene, is tell me what the fuck with this one.
So I saw this as it was put out there, And I had to read it twice just to make sure I understood what I was reading. And if you're just listening to this, so this is a quote from Dave. This is from the Observer
right from
radio or whatever.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He says, "This is the worst gimmick, El Grande Americano he's speaking of here. This is the worst gimmick ever in WWE history. Yeah, sure, he's over in Mexico and maybe even over in America, and people are demanding more of him, but it's just not working." What? He's over in Mexico, he's over in America, people are demanding more of him, but it's not working. Well, what is your definition of working, Dave, if that's not working? I mean, I read that 2 or 3 times, and I immediately had to send it to you, because if this right here doesn't, say everything you need to know about his current state of mind, I don't know what does. Please help me understand this, BT.
I try to, because number one, as soon as I see him saying the worst gimmick ever, I just, what? Dave's not even close, and the reaction this guy's getting is unbelievable in Mexico. Just go look at Triple A's on YouTube now. Go look at the reaction he gets, and God, can you think of another gimmick? I mean, there's like a gazillion gimmicks worse than this.
Yeah, he's saying, so El Grande Americano, worse than Bastion Booger. I mean, worse than Friar Ferguson, any gimmick they put on Mike Shaw. Yes, T.L. Hopper, the Goon. We could go on, and all those are better, apparently, in Dave's mind than El Grande Americano. What the...
I know that makes no sense. I don't understand it unless he's got an agenda against the guy doing that. I don't know. I don't. And it makes, that's what, when I saw this, and then our number one, when I saw that, I really just wanted to not subscribe to the Observer anymore. That's how bad I thought. And I like it because I'm able to get news and stuff. But I'm at the point now, I get big renewal coming up. I always pay a year. Don't know if I'm going to do that. So that's coming from a guy that's been a subscriber more since 1986 than he wasn't a subscriber, because I was poor and didn't have any money. But I used the Observer to keep up with the business when I wasn't following the business for like a 5-year span. Right. And we see so much stuff that's is not actually true, or it's mixed up, put it that way. And that's the kind of stuff that I say, I don't know what's going on. So I'll make the decision. It's usually around WrestleMania before I decide to renew or not. All right. So number 7 is our retro moment. Gene usually brings us some stuff, but I want to talk to Gene about Johnny Legend. So before I say anything about Johnny Legend, is there anything that you know or remember about Johnny Legend?
I really don't. He's kind of a blind spot for me. Like, I remember him on a few things throughout the years, but he's not somebody I've ever really looked into and studied any, and he wasn't on much of the things I grew up watching. He kind of popped up in some videotapes I saw over the years and things like that, but I really don't have a lot of knowledge of him, to be quite honest.
He was kind of on, I don't know, I guess underground, fringe, kind of like that. He did music. He was just a big fan of pro wrestling, roller derby. He recently died, and it just brought back memories of it. He produced the Fred Blassie records, the 1977 song Pencil Neck Geek, wrote in the 1985 I Bought the Songs, but he did all kinds of stuff. But what I remember about him the most, and I don't know if you've seen these or not, but have you seen any incredible, strange wrestling tapes?
I've seen clips of it over the year. I had one DVD when I was trading, doing, I say tape trading at the time. By then it was DVDs. A guy just threw one disc of that in and was like, check this out and tell me what you think about it. And I messaged him back. I was like, I don't know what to think about it. Jeez, dude. Like, that is, like, he goes, it is incredibly strange, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, that's one way to put it. Holy shit.
He had, I'm saying a lot. He had a Nazi as one character. He had a girl wake up a wrestler by hovering over him and peeing in his face. He did all kinds of weirdness. The tapes first were available on this video site that only had like some of the weirdest shit ever on it. It wasn't just wrestling. It was all these B-movie, drive-in movies that you could get. And I know I'm a fan of some of that stuff too. And that's how I kind of found him. There was a group of us trading the tapes back and forth. And he actually contacted me and said, "Hey, dude, I don't mind you doing that, but why don't you send them my way so I can make some money?" So I quit trading them just because he had messaged me and said, or called me and said that, and we quit trading. We had a little group that traded, and I said, "Nah, I'm not trading them anymore." But yeah, if that's something you would want to try to look and find, I would have fun watching those. And I was always kind of, I'm not jealous. I don't do jealousy, but kind of jealous of him being around all these people on the fringe and being able to work in Hollywood and working with wrestlers and work with music. It was always one of those things that I think I would be having a lot of fun. And I don't know. He just looked like somebody that took a lot of drugs and had a real good time. And I don't know if he ever took drugs. So that's my feelings.
He looked like Handsome Jimmy if he really took a hard turn, like, you know what I mean? Like, at least when I saw him on a couple of videos I saw him on, he had the big beard and everything. He always reminded me kind of a Handsome Jimmy on harder drugs, if you will. But yeah, I'm going to add him to my list of people that I'm going to do some research on. I may eventually write an article on, or we may do a podcast about him one of these days.
He was a fun character. Very, very nice guy when I met him over the phone. So that was a retro moment, and it's brought to you by the Retro Podcast.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
All right. Before we get to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we have to do number 6. That's the way numbers work, Gene. I don't know if you knew that, but and I'm not looking down at you, but you got to remember I actually went to school in Arkansas and Missouri, so I have to make sure that everybody, I know our level was really bad. But this is an update of a story that we covered, and I wanted to play the video and just comment a few things because our exchange about this subject had one of our best TikTok views of the month. And so people seem to enjoy listening to our point of view of it. Two Southern guys talking about racism, I guess. But I actually cut this clip. It was a 7 or 8 minute clip. I cut it to 3 minutes or something. It's JR first, and it's Devon talking about the incident. I thought it was worth listening to.
Make sure I didn't make any mistakes, to make sure that I was telling the truth. And today we're going to touch on JR's comments that were made after we went and said what we said. So, Maven, should we go to the video?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, Jim, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Well,
Devon alleges that you said, "I don't like you because of the color of your skin."
that's so absurd. It's not even. It doesn't merit a response. I like Devon. I like him today. I hired he and Bubba. I thought we did a good job of booking them. They made money. They were put in situations where they could do the things they do best. Those TLC matches were pieces of art. They'll last forever. The Dudleys are a major part of that. Bubba, I know Bubba for sure because I've heard it. Was involved in the booking of that stuff, and I don't know. I was shocked to hear that because I don't recall, Conrad, ever having a crossword with Devon Dudley. I always respected him and his work. I love the Dudley tag team. So it took me totally off guard. I never said that to Devon Dudley. And why he would conjure up that, I guess to get attention. Maybe I thought, well, maybe he's not as happy with his post-wrestling life as Bubba is, because Bubba's made a tremendous success of himself as a broadcaster and still works. So I never said that. And I wish it had not. Some people, I'm sure, are going to still believe it, and that's their prerogative. But I'm not angry at Devon. I'm curious and don't understand why he went there.
Here comes JR. JR comes down, and we're like, JR, how you doing? Hey, JR. Boys, how you guys doing? I'm like, good, JR. Me and Bubba's like, good. He was like, hey, you know what, boys? You guys are fitting in really good here. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, all right. Yeah, you boys are doing really good. And this and that. I like you boys. I like you boys a lot. Devon, I'm not too sure. The verdict's still out on him. And I'm not too sure how I particularly feel about this. And I'm saying to myself, what does it mean by that? And JR says, again, the verdict's not out yet, but I'm still a little hesitant with Devon. And Bubba knew what he was getting at. So Bubba butts in and goes, you know something, JR? Regardless to what, Devon's a hard worker. He never gives this company any problems. We go in there and do our business, and that's it. Devon's a good guy. He takes care of his family. He does everything he's supposed to do as an individual. And JR continued to go, well, I get that. That's all good, but, it's just something about him. I'm not sure, and this and that. And I'm not saying anything, and I'm keeping quiet. And finally, that's when it comes out. He's black. I don't know. And that's my hiccup. I don't know how I could feel about that.
So I know we made fun of that, a racist guy in Oklahoma kind of thing. But do you think that's JR just trying to cover his ass? Why would somebody say that if he didn't say it, kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Devon has nothing to gain from this other than, it's gotten a lot of attention and it's gotten Maven a lot of views, and I think Devon even has a channel of his own now too. But so I believe him, but at the same time, it's so crazy for somebody in JR's position to say something like that. I mean, maybe he was joking. Maybe it's his weird way of joking or something. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing's just odd.
Right. I find it odd too, and I'm with you about why would Devon do it? Well, maybe clicks, whatever. But JR's not going to admit he did it. I think everyone needs to just realize that he's not going to say, hey, I did that. I was racist. I don't think we're going to see that from JR. I might be wrong, but, I've owned up to shit that I done in the past, and I think other people should too. But if he didn't do it, I don't know why we stirred it up. And if he did do it, then there you go. That's all. I can't say much about it.
All he would have had to say if he did is, well, hey, I've learned since then. Maybe I had a little different mindset back then. I don't even really remember saying that, but if I did say it, I apologize. And my mindset has changed, and I certainly don't feel that way now. Something to that effect. But the only thing about that, if he admits that he had that mindset then, or ever did have that mindset, then people can start calling into question all the decisions he ever made, all the hires he made and firings and different things. So maybe he just feels he's painted into a corner where he's just like, well, I'm just going to have to lie about it and stick to it, because who's going to literally prove me wrong? Because nobody recorded the conversation. So.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do halftime, and then we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Sunday, February 15th, Nick Nemeth returns to Memphis Wrestling. Monday, February 16th, WWE Raw returns to FedEx Forum in Memphis. Pre-game with us at Ghost River on Beale Street. No cover and it's family friendly. Saturday, February 28th, WWE Talent Scout Gabe Sapolsky is conducting a pro wrestling seminar at the Wrestle Center. Register now, limited spots available. Sunday, March 1st, Frankie Kazarian is coming to Memphis Wrestling. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Get ready, wrestling fans. MCW is bringing you the action like never before. Experience the high-flying moves, the bone-crushing slams, and the rivals that can only be settled inside the square ring. This is family-friendly live professional wrestling at its very best. Don't just hear about it. Be there when the superstars of MCW collide in unforgettable matches you'll talk about for weeks. Tickets are affordable. The action's nonstop, and the excitement is guaranteed. MCW Wrestling, where the future of wrestling happens now. Be there. Quick note, MCW Osceola, tomorrow night after the show, there's an after party. They just ran an angle where the promotion was on the line. They lost the promotion. The heels won, and then the babyfaces eventually took back over. And so they're doing a big after party. It's really a family-friendly thing that the East Coast Bad Boys family's been doing that for years. They now have kids in it. It's just really, it's crazy seeing how long it's been going. It originally started out as Moondog Championship Wrestling. And Spot did it along with Big Daddy LaFont. So I don't know if you've heard that name before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. It's time for halftime. Gene is not the dancing machine. Oh, Gene. It's halftime. What we're going to do a little different this time is watch a video. I wanted to comment about it because me and you are always spending time either on USWA or when we're watching videos, we're like, do this, do that. If you're a young wrestler, you're not doing this, do it. Stone Cold, I don't know if you know this, Gene, but probably one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling, had some advice. So here we go.
What's the one piece of advice you have now for young wrestlers who are coming up?
Sell. And as the business has changed and there's more time to put together a match, don't make it look like a dance. Not everything is perfect. Put some struggle in there. Put a little bit of slop in there when slop would be warranted. You ever see Bret Hart deep in a match, maybe 20, 25 minutes, and he just looks like he's beat to death. He's huffing, he's puffing. He ain't blown up. That's him just showing how, fucking tired he is from just exhausting. He had this look on his face, and he could go all night long. But that's him just showing you how hard this is the toll that it's taking on him. He's showing you. So it's not always such a dance. Everything is just a little. I would love for someone to feel dangerous right now. God dang, this guy's got an edge, or this guy's. I don't know. I might believe this guy. Something like that. But to go back to answer your question, sell. Learn how to work. Learn how to work. Don't learn how to act. I think there's a difference between working and acting.
Loved it. And by the way, Chris is one handsome man. He's been on our podcast before. He was handsome. Jesus. Bet he smells good too. Stone Cold gave some of the best advice any guy could give to wrestling fans. No, they only young wrestlers right now, not wrestling fans. But we talked about this, that there's no selling in the business anymore. For the instance, especially with these young guys doing 100 moves at once, or, You know, the only Steve said something about make them think you're tough or whatever the way he put it. You know, AEW's went totally putting hypodermic needles and screwdrivers, and they've made it kind of unbelievable. There's only a certain section of people that give a shit about their wrestlers because of that.
Yeah, and the mindset's so much different now where nobody's watching that going, oh my God, I can't believe John Moxley stabbed him with a hypodermic needle. They're going, I can't believe that guy let John Moxley stab him with like you're looking at it from a totally different angle now. But it's ironic that Steve Austin leads with sell, sell, sell. Because for years, I have blamed the Stone Cold character for ruining baby faces in wrestling, because I can't tell you how many guys over the years, when we would try to be at a show and we're trying to set up an angle, we're like, all right, heels are going to come out, they're going to beat you down, they're going to leave you laying this week. And I go, oh no, that'll kill my character. My character wouldn't do that. You know, he would fight back and all this kind of shit. And so many people mistook that character. And for years, everybody wanted to be the badass that you know Stone Cold was, and nobody wanted to sell like, you know, baby faces always did. Even Hulk Hogan spent most of the match selling before he made the big comeback and did the boot and the body slam and the leg and everything. So that's great to hear it coming from him. Maybe somebody will take heed to some of that, because what know-it-all young wrestler can say, what the hell does he know? Well, he only drew more money than anybody else ever in wrestling, so maybe he knows what he's talking about.
Something we've said many times on this podcast: watch Hulk Hogan, watch Jerry the King Lawler, watch what those guys do. If you're a babyface, watch as many matches as you can. They took so much fucking heat and so many moves. I have said this about the Posse in this area. They got 3 moves in or 4 moves as a babyface tag team in a match. They did double heat. They just took an ass whipping.
Yeah.
And they were the most over in Duisburg, in this area, than any other tag team.
It's because selling and not dying and then firing up when it's time will get you over more than 100 cool
Ricky
moves
Morton.
ever will. Ricky fucking Morton. Ricky
Yes,
Steamboat.
yes.
All the Rickies. Well, most of the Rickies. Let's not say all of them.
Ricky lives down the street. That motherfucker's a seller, too. All right, here we go. That was halftime. All right, enough dancing, man. What's it horse shit dancing going on here? Let's get to with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just want to bring this up real quick, and it's really it was the only thing that happened for Smarks be acting crazy, but it's more about the internet, and it's almost like I'm tired of Rhea Ripley. She complained about some fan said during her Twitch feed. She's on Twitch. Apparently, her buddy Matthews has a Twitch channel together, and somebody said the independent wrestler actually got a look by the WWE because of their friendship with Rhea Ripley. Number one, do you think that's a big deal with them saying that?
No.
She just gets upset. I don't know how she keeps a great fan base. She's actually upset all the time with her fans. Don't come up to her and get an autograph. Don't surround her while she's in a foreign country. And I'm a Rhea Ripley fan, but I'm starting to go, I don't know, you know. She and people get hot. Look, what was your connection? What was my connections? I've said this, I think, on the USWA podcast this past week. Who got me in with Bill Apter? Jerry Lawler did. Do you not think that I'm going to use my connections to get a job in professional wrestling or get something to do? That's the way. It's called networking, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted. We've covered her a couple of times, and now it's getting where I'm kind of pissy about everything she says.
That's fair.
Yeah. I had to bitch about that. If you go to, if you do our Patreon and you listen to the new hot mics, you'll hear me bitching about a bunch of stuff, a bunch of new stuff. So if you want to listen to it, right, Gene?
The views expressed by Brian Tremble and Hot Mike's not reflect views of Gene Jackson, Josh Briley, or any other decent human beings. I meant to put a crawl across the bottom of the screen during that. I forgot.
I told that to the wife, and she had such a good time with that. Let me move this overlay. We got the great Kenny Omega,
who's covered by Spunkaloo right now, which is ironic.
Well, yeah, and Kenny Omega says that we're headed down a path where the WrestleMania main event's going to be Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast. All right, so let me ask you something, Gene. Kenny Omega against, I don't know, Kyle Fletcher. All right, Logan Paul against Mr. Beast. Which of those two matches have a better chance being at WrestleMania? Not the main event, but being at WrestleMania.
Oh, Logan Paul and Mr. Beast.
And that's the part, and this is our little thing with wrestlers behaving badly at number 4, but it gets me to thinking that you don't get it. He don't get it. Mr. B, you put Logan Paul, Mr. Beast in there. We're trying to get social media stuff. We're trying to get people over.
You're trying to pack a stadium.
Look at what WrestleMania did. The very first race, always celebrities, always something going on. I don't know why. This doesn't bother me, but I remember there's a narrative out there during the early Observer days where a celebrity involved in pro wrestling is a bad thing and you shouldn't want them part of your business.
Yeah. I mean, and now we're not, I stand corrected. We're not just trying to pack a stadium. We're trying to pack a stadium for 2 nights in a row. Al Snow did something a long time ago that really stuck with me. It was one of those tapes where he's doing a seminar and they videoed it for RF or whatever.
Right.
He asked a big room full of students. I think they were CZW students or something. And he says, What was the best match at WrestleMania 3? And what do you think all of them said?
Well, we know what it was. So, yeah, Steamboat Savage, right?
And Snow immediately goes, No, it was not. The best match at WrestleMania 3 was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant because it sold all the fucking tickets. And he's right. Because at the end of the day, Vince McMahon, Triple H, all those people don't give a fuck about work rate or your goddamn stars or how some prick living in an apartment in California or Chicago or wherever, how they feel about the match. They want the one that will sell the most tickets. Now, like you just pointed out, that will provide the most social media engagement and will get the most eyes on their product. And if that's Kenny Omega now, then great, we'll do that. But if it's Mr. Beast, then guess what? It's going to be Mr. freaking Beast. And you can't knock that because it's a business.
Yeah, I as a promoter, I've said some of the mistakes I made, when it came. There was one kid had a great look, and I wouldn't push him because he didn't know how to work. That was kind of stupid because he could probably sold more tickets. But I remember going to Selmer, Tennessee. Local wrestler probably had 3 matches, probably wasn't even trained. And guess who I had selling the tickets? The local wrestler. He sold out. I mean, we had 350 people there. He was in the main event. There was probably 292 that was there to see him. But he sold the tickets.
Well, think about this.
Yeah, I put him in. As hot tag. It's what I put him in. Tag team match. I said, don't do nothing until it's time for the hot tag. And, man, that crowd popped big. I got money. He got money. All's well. I don't understand the part, and it's part of the business that people don't understand, is it is a business, like you said. Why did they it's almost like they're showing us what they don't know about the business. And I'm a Kenny Omega fan, but that's just really weird.
Think about this from the 80s. Our beloved Memphis, what's the one thing that sold out the Coliseum multiple times? There's been movies made, and they're still talking about it to this day. Andy Kaufman, a sitcom actor, is still the most talked about thing ever Memphis wrestler. But if, the Daves of the world had their way and we went by work rate, we wouldn't have even let him on the show, or if we had, we certainly wouldn't have featured him against Lawler in the main event. But they were smart enough. Lawler saw an opportunity like, whoa, this could be huge, and he capitalized on it. But in that old school way of thinking, they said Bill Watts, all them old promoters was mad as hell about that exposed the business. And Watts even said on Mid-South, you ain't going to see any actors in the ring. And, of course, he was pissed off about Mr. T and all that kind of shit. But Lawler's smart enough to know, like, hey, if it sells us tickets, let's do it.
That's the way I look at it. I brought also an article on wrestlers behaving badly, and I put it in here as behaving badly because I don't know what he's going to gain from saying this or whether it's true or not. But Shane, did you get a chance to look at this? Shane is saying that the business plan for AEW, that the guys that did the business plan stole all his ideas.
No, I overlooked that one, apparently. I don't remember what.
Yeah, he says that it's not just the ideas. It's really weird, but it's like some of the terminology that he used, the phrases he said. And, you know, when you write something like a business model, the person writing it is going to say certain things about, you know, like, I don't know, say they use the word plain or seem strange or just some goofy word, but they're going to use it again when they're doing another business plan. He actually believes that they stole his business plan and started doing it. Well, what bothers me the most is that, you know, if they did do that, hell, I wish they would have listened more because of all this shit that they're doing with cinder blocks and everything like that. But it is one of those things to wonder how much gets through and everyone steals from everybody kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's very few things in the world that's original. It's most all of it's stolen from things from the past or an idea they heard from somebody somewhere who wasn't able to actually execute it themselves, and they have the opportunity to do it, so they do it. And if you do it first, then technically, as far as the world's concerned, it was your idea. So
Right. All right, we're up to number 3. Shock me. This has turned into stuff about Tony Khan. A few things this month. Number 1, Trey Miguel goes to AEW. This is the second person where this has happened, kind of, sort of, with Andretti did it first. And then Trey Miguel goes. They find out some stuff about him, and then he turns around. He's back on TNA. What are they doing over there at AEW? I mean, that's all I could think about. He made a homophobic social media post in, let me tell you, in 2020. So everything that he does now is bad. And so then Dave gets into a fight with somebody that they said that CW didn't care about it, or that the network didn't care, and it's just crazy. But my thing is, why aren't they checking shit like this ahead of time? Why are you not they call it vesting, right? Why are they not vesting the person?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you think before you go signing people, you would dig as deep as you can, and I don't know. That was a strange deal. It was like they announced it one week.
Vetting,
yeah. They announced it 1 week, and then he's gone from TNA, and then like literally in a week's time, he's back on TNA like immediately. It wasn't like there was any wait period or none of that. He was right back on there. So I don't know, man.
I don't know what they're doing. And the other story that's been around, and it's lasted about a week and a half, and I find it hilarious. Apparently, Tony Khan got caught. He had a fake Twitter account on a burner phone, and he was making posts always positive, with AEW, negative about WWE, and then would go ahead and do all the stuff that he would do against those people. Saying how great his matches are, how he's. Is this because Tony Khan is part of the internet thing that he would do something like that? That sounds so childish to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's still that mentality, like he was, it's come out over the years that, he used to do the fantasy booking on all those message boards and all that. And that's the kind of stuff people would do is they go make a burner account and come back and put their own shows over and bury other people's stuff that they didn't want to say themselves. And so, here he is running a multi-million-dollar company, and he's fucking around online with a fake account. It's the fact that God bless, man, you hear all the stuff the guy does. He runs AEW and all these ball teams and all this, and he's got time for that kind of nonsense. It's funny. Sad.
It's just crazy that they would do it. Triple H has said a couple of times, give a shit about what's on social media. Nick Khan said he doesn't even look at social media, and people are like, liars, liars. No, there are people that do not care what's on social media. I wish I could get off of it, but I use it for the business. If you notice, I don't do any personal stuff anymore because there was always somebody that had to comment something really stupid, not funny, but stupid on my post. So I just quit doing it. I'm not giving them the opportunity to do that. I don't usually block anybody. That's not me. But I'm not going to let you have the opportunity to say the shit that you do. And you're not following me. You block me and you're saying shit about me. You're a fucking coward. Okay. Yeah. That's the way I feel about it. You're a coward. All right. Number 2, I found this I said, what the fuck? Very bizarre at the way we've talked about CML doing unbelievable business, a lot to do with the tourist. Dave has made some kind of comment about it's, they're selling out because of the work rate. Don't think so. And he's even covered that. But they actually stopped the match, cut the camera away, which I understand when somebody jumped in, and then they just let him out of the ring. Instead of, what would have happened to that guy back in the day, Gene?
Oh, he got messed up. Damn. There's some of that caught on tape over the years. Even on like WCW shows, where, God dang, you get through the ropes, freaking Mark Curtis might choke your ass out live on Monday Nitro, but you ain't gonna get out of there unscathed.
I think it's weird. They've changed that. They've changed the money thing. After a match, if the match was really good, the Mexican fans threw money into the ring, and for some reason they don't want the tourists seeing them throwing money. I guess they don't want to see the tourists seeing them getting their ass whipped. I don't understand that. That was one of the things that was always pushed to me, and because I was a heel manager, if something happens, someone comes over that line, BT just knocked the shit out of him. I've told the story about helping Cactus Jack, and I've told the story where I hit somebody, some big guy, and I would have got my ass handed to me probably, but got saved by 2 other big guys. But it would scare me. Did you ever have people grab you and stuff like that?
There was like 2 times maybe. There was a guy grabbed me one time and I shoved him back across 2 rows of chairs. And then we used to do a show on Wednesday nights in Fulton, Mississippi, which is a college town. And the building was real. It was in a store downtown, so it was long and narrow. So the ring, where the ring sat in the middle of the building, there was just enough room on each side to walk, and then you had the fans on each side. And I used to wrestle before I got my wrestling boots. I just had those damn high-tech combat boot style boots. And this college kid come, and he got under the rope, got his head all the way into the ring, and I come running across, and I kicked him right in the damn temple and split his eyebrow right there, and he rolled out. And then once he spread word, like, hey, they will hit you. This shit, they're not playing. We didn't have anybody else try to get in. But
me and you talked yesterday about doing, I'm going to put it over, we hadn't even recorded it, but we're going to record some stuff about Ozark Mountain Wrestling. Yeah. It's not going to be like we do. We're not going to sit and watch it, but we're going to talk about it. I've got a lot of experience with Ozark Mountain Wrestling. As you know, I was here in Jonesboro as it was being run and set in on a bunch of Monday night matches for Ozark Mountain Wrestling. But there's an incident, I just mentioned Cactus Jack, but that's an incident that I want to save for that to retell. Cool. But I'm excited about that. And want to put over also, if you're watching this tonight, does it come out tomorrow? No, it comes out Saturday, don't it? You got a Continental Wrestling thing.
Yeah, it'll the video version will come out on Patreon on Saturday, and then the following Saturday it'll drop on audio everywhere. But we're starting with the first episode of Continental Wrestling in '85, and we're going to watch everything that's out there, there's not as much of it as there is Memphis, so there's going to be some jumping around and some short episodes and things like that. But we're going to watch everything that's out there that we can get our hands on. So
I got a sneak peek from Rob, your co-host, and really enjoyed it. Continental was one of my favorite promotions. It was I loved Memphis wrestling at the time and loved Mid-South when I started watching Mid-South. But Continental, I loved it because of the riches, the nightmares, the foolers, and it goes back to see how big the foolers and Jimmy Golden and all those guys were. They were just there was a reason they were on top of promotions when they were on top.
Yeah.
They're just so much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah, you're welcome to sit in on those anytime you want. We're gonna be recording those on Sunday night, so just
I may do that
in
sometime.
mind.
Like I said, I'm a huge fan. So, all right, brings us to number one, and like I said, this might be one of those things where, what the fuck? I'm thinking about Dave Meltzer. What are you thinking? But he just went off on Billy Gunn. A Billy Gunn story. If you've heard my StarCast story, you'll understand. Is one of the biggest humans I've ever met. He is huge. Well, I met Elegante, but, he's not that big. But here we go. Here's what Dave said about Billy Gunn. Right after that, we're going to listen to what Billy Gunn said, and then we'll comment on it.
Don Callis put him over. He's like Kyle Fletcher. Paul White is like, I wouldn't say he's like the level of Billy Gunn. And I'm thinking like, dude, Billy Gunn on his best day isn't half the wrestler Kyle Fletcher is today. Probably not even a third. It's like, but Billy Gunn is from that era, so he must be better than these guys. And it's just kind of like Kyle Fletcher legitimately might be, top 5, top 7 in the world? I think Billy Gunn was ever top 200?
I don't want to say that, but I will say it was never top 5.
Oh, no, wait. There were probably 10,000 wrestlers around the world, okay? Top 200 is a pretty high thing. He wasn't, top 200 famous? Absolutely, because he was in WWE and was a star. But top 200 worker, when you're talking about Japan and Mexico, not a chance. Those guys, there's so many, like if you do today top 200, the number 200 guy is someone who's pretty freaking great, out of all these guys all over the world. But, it was just like, come on, not only that, but it's like Kyle Fletcher's the freaking future of this company. It was also interesting that Austin took the pin. It's like, wait.
There's no part of me that ever said I was the greatest wrestler in the world. But you're not going to say I was never in the top 200. Because wrestling was never in my thing to do. It's what do I need to do to entertain these people to come back and see me? And I've proved that because every time you give me something, I knock it completely out of the park. I don't bitch and moan. I just do the best that I can. And that's what I want people to know. I'm not doing this for fame or glory. That's not what I do. I do it because I get to work with my kids. I get to work with kids that I coach at the Performance Center. And even those kids said, this is going to be awesome working with you because I grew up watching you and now I'm going to be in the ring with you. How much fun is that?
All right. So I'm going to let you comment first.
First of all, Dave, I don't think Dave realizes that he's talking to a small little circle of people in his circle of fandom as far as the people who follow him, people who are going to listen to that show, who read his newsletters, and who know or give a shit about all the workers in Mexico and all the workers in Japan. The average fan only knows about WWE, AEW, and maybe TNA, maybe Ring of Honor, maybe on down the line to GCW, blah, 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 blah. So when they think of the top wrestlers in the world, they're not thinking of all those people, and they're not thinking about work rate and whether they had a 5-star match. They're thinking about people who have entertained them, people they recognize, people that come off like a star. And Billy Gunn's always been one of those people, and I don't blame him to be insulted that he's not in the top 200 and to act just incredulous about it. Like it's absurd to even imply that Billy Gunn would be in the top 200 workers. And then compare him to Kyle Fletcher. I don't think you could pull Kyle Fletcher out of today, put him in a DeLorean, put him back in Billy Gunn's time of the Attitude Era, and he would have been the top 5 wrestlers in the world. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think about that?
It's just so hard for me to understand what is Dave doing. That's kind of what I'm thinking to myself. I know I sat through him insulting Dusty Rhodes, insulting Hulk Hogan for years. I'm talking years. I had to sit through that. But the idea that you don't, I mean, he gets excited because someone said Kyle Fletcher's not at the level of Billy Gunn. He's not.
Pissed.
He is not at the. Kyle Fletcher may have a career in the future, but he's not. Let me repeat. He is not going to be as popular or anything as Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn still will draw people and help you draw a crowd. Ask the guys that's used him, and he's easy to work with. I don't know. I don't know if he. Part of me is just like he doesn't understand the business anymore.
If I was running a show here in Gadsden somewhere, and you said I can send you one of 2 guys for free to draw a crowd, have an entertaining match that you can try to make money with in your town, I'm taking Billy Gunn all day long, because Kyle Fletcher may go out there and have a hell of a match, but how many people... I didn't really know who Kyle Fletcher was before we watched that match with him and Kenny Omega recently. I'd only seen like one other match of his. I didn't know he was supposed to be this big deal. But one thing I want to circle back to, I didn't get a chance to say earlier. If you take the El Grande Americano statement that we discussed earlier, and then you take this statement about Billy Gunn, if Meltzer would just preface it by saying, in my opinion, this El Grande Americano doesn't work. In my opinion, Billy Gunn's not one of the top 200 wrestlers. It makes it a lot different than when he states this as if he is the authority, and because he said it, it is now.
What you got, pal?
I'm sorry about that. I agree with it. I said this to the wife, and I think I said this on the podcast last month. I have no problem whatsoever in saying Dave Meltzer is a fan, and that is the Wrestling Observer is a fan's view. One man's fan. He's a fan. Alice still told me that about Wrestling Right Online. He said people get upset. It's your opinion. That's all the person that it is. You are telling what you like. And they give him power. They give Dave power. But when he says stuff like that, you look at it like, did he really never understand the business? Now, he writes some of the greatest obits ever.
Yeah.
But, Eric Bischoff has a lot to say about this, but he's true in that he just kind of needs to stick to that or say, like you said, this is my opinion. I'm not,
Based on all my years of fandom, here's my opinion. And then it's fine, but there's so many people that you and I both know who blindly accept his opinion as the gospel, and then they go spread that around, and then anybody they hear disagreeing with that is an idiot or a goof or whatever the fuck,
Right. I don't get it, guys. Thanks for joining us. Another crazy month. I told you it was going to be heavy Meltzer. And Eugene, you made a joke on last month's show or the show before. We may have a whole episode 1 month of just Dave Meltzer. What the fuck, Dave Meltzer? And I laughed at it and thought, nah, we'll stick to those 3 things. But he was featured in 5 or 6 things this month because you're just opening your mouth, and you should just keep your mouth shut on some of these subjects because it's making you look bad. And I hate it. I hate it for Dave. I considered at one time Dave was a friend. I don't associate with him much anymore or talk to him. So not a friend, but I have known Dave for a long time. Guys, same bat time, same bat channel. Anything you want to put over, Gene?
Now you can find everything I'm involved with at RetroWrestlingArchive.club. That's my link of all links to still a term from BT. So there you go.
It's real cheap to get club instead of .com.
That's
the reason I got it at the time I did was because the Bullet Club was so cool. And so I wanted to do some stuff with STSpod.club and look like the Bullet Club shirts. And I don't think I ever did that. Say Bad Time, Say Bad Channel on the best of the wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows this by now, and Gene knows it, I love my mama.